took a look around and saw that, people needed somebody, and they stepped up. So thank you so much. It's Monday, the 13th day of April, day 27 of stay-at-home, quarantine, social isolation, of course, ramped up. Now the checkpoints, are we going to have them today? Don't know, but we are going all the way till May 5th. But remember, everybody says that that is just another one of those tentative finish lines.
That's right. This could go on. We're not sure.
Yeah, we had Dr. Hoa last week talking about how this could stretch into the end of the year.
Yeah, and even I think it was Khalili Sablan on his Facebook page, the CNMI congressman.
Right.
He posted, I think it was Saturday or Friday, that he had gotten off a phone call with, I think, the Vice President Pence.
I'm going to read it. I got it.
Okay.
I'll stand by. Let's read this here. Yeah, so this is from Congressman Khalili Sablan. He's a CNMI delegate. Is Facebook. After our teleconference with Vice President Pence and his COVID-19 team, I organized a teleconference with FEMA for the insular areas members of Congress, Mr. Fenton for American Samoa, Guam, and the NMI and FEMA region heads for the U.S. Virgin Islands and for Puerto Rico. Among the several issues Mr. Fenton highlighted, he also mentioned that Guam and the Northern Marianas, based on statistical models, are deemed to be at their highest peak of infection sometime around late May to mid-June. Thus, we're about a month away from when models estimate that COVID-19 infections will be at its highest at home. In the meantime, we could all lower this high peak estimate by staying indoors and by wearing a mask and safe distancing from others when we absolutely have to leave our homes to pick up medication, groceries, school meals, and student learning packets. But keep in mind that what we do today is what determines what takes place in 2 weeks. Thank you and stay safe. What a message there from the CNMI delegate, Khalili Sablan, who we are going to be interviewing Thursday with this guy right here, Tomas Manglona, our CNMI correspondent. Good morning, Tomas.
Hi, Tomas.
Good morning.
A lot of things happened over the weekend. I noticed you were sending us stuff from, I think it was the mayor of Tinian. And, we still haven't heard anything from the CNMI governor's office regarding the latest on confirmed tests over there, and also just with the announcement of the furloughs and the PSS employees not getting paid. What's the latest over there?
Yeah, and so I wanted to share, I know some news out of the public school system released late last week, the grab-and-go meal distribution on the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rota will recommence this week. That will resume the grab-and-go meal program here in the CNMI Thursday, April 16 for Saipan, Tinian, and Rota. Also wanted to share that over the weekend, the CNMI Governor's COVID-19 Task Force Chair, Warren Villagomez, updated the public that the 50-bed field hospital is nearing completion on Saipan to assist in the supplemental efforts for medical response. The governor's office also notes that the CNMI might be the first territory to set up the field hospital and resources that were flown in by FEMA. The task force also reports that some Tinian and Rota residents are finally returning home after completing the 14-day quarantine since their arrival into Saipan from overseas. So 5 residents were flown back to Rota and 1 to Tinian over the weekend. Governor Ralph Torres also followed up on his request to the National Guard Bureau to establish a National Guard unit in the CNMI, especially as additional support is needed in response to COVID-19 global pandemic. The governor saying in the press release, quote, having a National Guard that can go into action providing security and relief during the disaster is invaluable, end quote. The governor also added that health and public safety personnel and resources are being stretched to the limit here in the CNMI. That plea from the governor comes as the NMI Congressman Khalili shares grim projections for the NMI's COVID fight. Brian, Chris, as you both shared, he said that the NMI might see its highest peak of infection sometime around late May to mid-June. These are the first projections we are seeing for the CNMI as Saipan works to have testing capabilities beyond the 5 tests a day provided by the Guam Public Health Lab in addition to those sent off island. And so
how are they trying to do that, Tomas? Because yeah, you're right. I mean, 5 tests a day, clearly that's not going to be enough for the CNMI to be where they need to be in containing this virus.
Definitely. And so, Esther talked a little bit about this in our last interview. We're hoping to get more updates today. We know that they're working to get facilities up to par. But I think a lot of people are happy to see this also this grab and go meal distribution program resume. I think that April 16. So we can share more updates on the specifics. But right now, based on what I have, it says free meals for all CNMI children ages 18 and below, Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 11. However, that starts this Thursday, April 16. It will resume on all 3 islands, Saipan, Tinian, and Rota.
What was the? Could you know anything behind the scenes how they came to that decision? Because we had know that they did cancel it, and then was it just the need? The need was demonstrated to be just so great that they had to reinstitute it.
Yeah, and so what I'm seeing being reported is that the initial reason for the termination for the grab and go meal program in the CNMI was because of manpower. So I think now they have the volunteers and the numbers, and probably are enforcing stricter measures in terms of social distancing. But yeah, excited to see that back up. I know that was a huge thing that we've been talking about in the past few weeks, especially as cases increase.
Mm-hmm. Has there been, you may have mentioned this before, but if you could refresh my memory, in terms of the field hospital, where exactly is that located? Is it indoor, outdoor?
So
Intense?
it's in the upper parking lot of the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporate Center, so that's on Navy Hill, and it is a huge parking lot. I think it can fit maybe 100 more cars. If that's just an estimate based on my view, but that's not too far from the actual Saipan Hospital, but it's on a concrete parking lot in the upper parking lot on Navy Hill.
So it's tents?
Yes, and if you go to the CNMI governor's office, they're actually doing some video of what they're building in it, and it does look like yes, they're going to be about 6 tents, and based on the last update, the task force chair here in the CNMI, Warren Villagomez, said they're probably going to complete as of today probably 3 of those 6 tents, but I'm sure we're going to hear more from them later.
Okay.
How was your Easter, Tomas?
It was great. Attended. I think we attended both masses. We watched Guam's mass and the CNMI's mass.
And what? The Kitchen Cathedral?
Yes. It was fun. We just baked some ribs and celebrated each other in Easter. And how's your Easter though?
It was good. It was weird. I didn't cook anything. I mean, obviously Easter, I make a big meal. I didn't. The kids just pretty much stayed at their other house, and I was alone most of the day. But did it look like people were gathering? I mean, I know you stayed home as you should, but I felt like on social media, either you guys had a lot of big families with big spreads of food, or you were gathering. So I don't know what it was like there in the NMI, Tomas.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't go. I probably saw everything you saw online, but hoping everyone just continues to stay home and as you always say, wash your hands. Wash your hands,
right on. So, what are some of the things that you're trying to track down for us today, Tomas?
Yeah, well, first I'm trying to get an update with how many specimens we've, actually sent. So far all the numbers we have are from April 8, and I think that's kind of, outdated by now. But just trying to get that, and also trying to push for a press conference, or, continue to ask for a press conference here. It's been, if there's no press conference this week, it would be 3 weeks since the last press conference. So hoping to ask more questions. I know a lot of people, it's interesting watching, the press conferences that you all participate in, because a lot of people the questions you're asking are also questions we want to ask here in terms of, rent, mortgages, and things like that, and, the assistance, and we just haven't gotten the chance. When I reach out to individual people, it's great, but I think it would be nice to have have that forum every day like you all do.
Right. Well, Tomas, we value your contributions here every day, and just know that we got a lot of people from the NMI, whether they're in the NMI or from the NMI, living, in the American states or whatever, and they're watching the show. So we really value the info that you bring to the table every morning.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I appreciate it, and I hope to provide more updates as the days go forward.
Right, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about this interview that you're going to be doing on Thursday with Congressman Kilili. What are some of the things that you're going to try and, don't give away too much, right, because the anticipation of it, but what are some of the things that you feel you can ask him that he can really speak with a lot of authority about?
Well, here are my 10 questions. No, I'm just kidding. So basically, I want to ask about the CARES Act. I think generally people understand what it is. Generally, I do, but specifically, I think we want to know, what does that mean in terms of getting money into my pocket? What does that mean for residents to get money into their pocket? That involves, talking about the timeline, any other legislation in the works. When we were chatting, I think I can share Congressman saying, that other legislation nationally is being rolled out and should be passed probably by the time we speak. And also how he's working with other delegates. And, I also want to ask him, he hasn't made I know it's a global pandemic. And
hold on real quick, Tomas. Stand by just a sec. Okay, I just had to put Adjutant General Esther Agagi on hold real quick. Go ahead, Tomas, finish up.
Sure, yeah. And, it's a difficult time, and I know he's focused on his current work, but we're going to ask him if he's going to run again. It's, he hasn't announced yet. So
right, yeah. And then I wonder what happened with all the rumors about who's running for Congress on Guam. Kind of like not the time. No one's really thinking about it, but that's something that we can kind of look into, to have these Federal Election Commission deadlines and, dates, significant dates for people who are seeking congressional office. Have those changed? Are they moved, or how's that all going to come into play? Because I think right now no one's really thinking about the election. I mean, I'm sure some people who are going to run in it are thinking about it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely know people might want to know who's going to be negotiating for them in BC. So.
Right.
Well, actually, packets for Guam, I think. Can people pick up packets already?
Right. Well, I can call Maria Pena. Yeah, there you go. Let me add her name to the list. Thank you so much, Tomas.
Thanks, Tomas.
Okay, you too. There you go. Tomas Manglona, our CNMI correspondent. Let's go over here. We have Adjutant General Esther Agagi on the line. Good morning, Adjutant General.